You know, I really struggle with the concept of surrender for most of my life, right? But I think it's more about the person that you're surrendering to. That's what kind of really defines it for me. Well, my name's Nelson. So, I come from a background of addiction. I'm a recovering addict. I've struggled with trying to do it on my own steam for most of my adult life. And I literally took a blowtorch to everybody in my life, all my loved ones, people that surrounded me. And I just kept trying to figure out, because surrender, it's kind of to me, it's a very negative thing. Like, you're giving up. How can, especially in our society, how can giving up give you victory, right? So, I spent the most part of my adult life trying to hang on to whatever it was that I wanted. And when I couldn't achieve it, turning to the drug, turning to the addiction to try to fill that hole, right? There's an old adage in recovery, of a monkey with a little cage, and there's a nice piece of fruit in there, and there's just enough room for the hand to go in to grasp the fruit. But then when you grasp the fruit, you can't pull it out, right? And then, the monkey just keeps getting frustrated and just ends up squeezing it and destroying the fruit, and then he gets nothing. And that's, I think when I, in my life, just trying to do everything on my own steam, on my own power, it just never resulted in anything good. And when I finally came to the realization that, I have a problem, I'm an addict, and I started getting into recovery, they started talking about this surrender idea, right? And it was really challenging until I learned that I'm surrendering to Jesus. I can't do it on my own strength, on my own power. So the only one that can do it for me is if I give that up and let him take it from there. Because my own best thinking brought me to this spot of despair and destroyed relationships, destroyed financially, destroyed marriages, right? It really is when I kind of learned that I need to surrender, to give up, that that Jesus could take it over from there and get me through. All I needed was that action of surrendering. So when I started to understand that, that's when I started to find progress in recovery and how my life turned around. That's the thing. I think the surrender is who you surrender to, right? That's why, if you the surrendering is such a negative connotation in society, is that you're giving up. You're letting the other guy have the upper hand on you because you're giving up to them. But I think it all comes down to who you're giving the surrender to. And if it's Jesus, there can be nothing but good things that can come from that.